Oh my gosh, Melissa Uptown, will you be my Valentine?
I would be honored. Where are we going, Gletta?
Well, I made reservations at Chili's.
That is so funny. I have a gift card.
Ha! Happy Valentine's Day, everybody! It's Drag Race time! Hello, welcome back to my little drag race show. It's Drag Race time, where every week I ask a trivia question at the end of the episode. Still going to do that. But today we have a special guest. It's my friend Melissa Uptown.
Hello, sweets.
Hi, Melissa. So,
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm hanging in there, girl.
Have any Valentine's plans?
You know, my partner has just moved into town from Mississippi, so maybe we'll have a little Valentine's Day romance.
Oh,
we'll see.
I'm going to be single AF, but you know, hey, that's my choice.
Hey, cheers.
Rosé. Word. Anyway, so where can people find you? What are you doing around town? Tell us about you.
So currently I'm participating in On the Rise at Missy B's on Wednesdays. We're down to the semifinals, so
yay.
On Instagram you can find me at the Melissa Uptown KC.
Link below.
Link below.
All right, awesome. And you have a little contest that you did on Instagram last year.
I was the hostess of Melissa's Drag Race. So it really started off as just like a bunch of my friends in quarantine that have never done drag before. And it just spiraled into this whole like meme of a thing. And now in March, I think I'm going to start a season 2. So be on the lookout for invitations.
Cool. And one of the prizes that you gave away on Melissa's Drag Race was a Chili's gift card.
It was. So we gave away $50 Chili's gift card, $100, and a wig.
Awesome. So today's prize in honor of Melissa's Drag Race is going to be a Chili's gift card for whoever wins the trivia question at the end of this episode.
And funny thing is, I've actually never been to Chili's, so.
Oh, today's episode was pretty cool. So you ready to get into it?
Let's do it.
Let's get into it. So we opened up this episode, and of course, Tamisha went home.
Such a class act.
I know. I'm such a stan. But I almost think it kind of like humbled Candy a little bit. Like she seems that she is like genuinely like brought down a couple pegs. So then, of course, they're sitting around the couch talking about how the last 2 queens that went home were in groups with
Elliot. Yeah.
Yeah. The curse of the 2 T's. I mean,
God damn it.
Then the next day, they're all around the table chatting, and of course, RuPaul walks into the workroom, and it's mini challenge time. And you know what time it is?
What time is it, Glitter?
It's reading time, because why?
Reading is fundamental, baby.
Oh, fundamental, baby. So
of course, I can't put glasses on a wig.
I know, it's really tough. I didn't glue this one down, so.
How do you be a drag queen?
How do you be a drag queen? Who were your favorite reads?
My favorite reads, mix were really good. And I thought Simone had some good ones. I liked her read for Denali.
Yeah.
Who were your favorites?
I loved Got Mick. My favorite read of all of them, I think, was the representation one where she said Candy was a pug.
Yeah. I think my favorite was Simone's, where she's like, Denali, you got a fat ass girl. You'll need something to land on when Rue sends you packing.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. I mean, Elliot definitely had the worst.
They were so cringe.
But I thought it was just that Mick won the reading challenge. And then RuPaul gives us our main challenge, which is improv on the Bossy Rossi show.
Yes. And we had that challenge in season 10. So this is like the reboot.
Yeah, the reboot. So Ru splits them off into groups, and let's get into that. All right, so we jump into... They're divided up into teams. They're practicing for their improv challenge. They're deciding who is going to do what. And seems like Simone and Candy, Simone's a little nervous about Candy's approach.
Yeah, she doesn't think Candy can execute this challenge.
Yeah, because Candy's trying to like go softer,
Yeah.
like the softer side of Candy Muse.
Yeah, and I think sometimes like with Drag Race, they kind of like set up like the rehearsal, like that they're gonna fail, but sometimes they do better, or sometimes they do worse.
Oh yeah, Drag Race is real good at misleads.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest conflict is Mick, Olivia, and Utica, because Olivia and Utica both want the mime role.
Yes, and Utica has experience in improv troops.
And I think, just from what we've seen of
Yeah.
Utica, like with her facial expressions, I actually think she would have killed it as the mime.
Yeah, I think she should have fought harder for that role instead of... She fought a little bit and then just like kind of gave it to Olivia.
Yeah, like, I mean, I wouldn't want to fight with Olivia either, because Olivia's like the cutest thing ever, and I think that they've like kind of
Fighter!
seemingly become friends, but Utica does kind of just like roll over and give it away. Like,
she does, yeah. But, and then, what was it, Mick was like, you could excel at any of these roles.
yeah.
So
I guess way to convince.
We'll see how that turns out.
Yeah. So we get into the challenge, Bossy Rossi After Dark. By the way, I'm subscribed. But the first team we see is Rose, Denali, and Lala Ree.
Mm-hmm.
And out of all of the improv challenges that they did, one of my favorite lines was Rose when she said she fell for Jared because he was so transparent with her.
So transparent.
So stupid.
What's your favorite body part? The penis.
I mean, I thought Rose was just like so natural into this.
Yeah.
It was definitely...
you could tell it wasn't her first time doing this. This is like her wheelhouse.
Then Denali comes out and I was like, why does she keep... Like, Denali kept like looking this way as if like she's looking at a camera, but it was like the wrong camera. I was like, why does she keep looking that way? Like, Rose's talking to her and Denali's looking this way, but whatever. They didn't seem to say anything about that. Then Lala Ree comes out, and one of her lines she says is, oh, it's not my skin tone, but it's a baby bump. That was pretty funny too.
Mm-hmm.
How did you think this group did?
I think they overall did really well. I thought Rose killed this challenge. Lala Ree kind of faded into the background for me.
Yeah.
I thought Denali also did really well.
Yeah. So the next group is got Mick, who was a therapist, Olivia the mime, and Utica the mom.
The mom, yeah.
Of the mime.
The Johnson County mom.
What did you think of this group?
It was a very interesting dynamic. All these personalities together in a group is interesting.
Yeah, I definitely thought Olivia as the mime was really good. I liked how she was acting. I did.
Yeah.
I thought it was cute.
Mm-hmm.
What, you didn't?
I thought she did okay. For me, it was more of a safe performance.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like anybody with that role would have like been
done that.
Yeah.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
The thing that stood out for me is Gottmik had one of my favorite lines, and it's just because I like stupid stuff. But when Gottmik was like, "Mimes, they're not talking," I'm like, "That's clever," because it's not clever at all. But anyway, Utica.
Let's talk about Utica.
First of all, so the way she was dressed. I mean, she looked good. Don't get me wrong, but I didn't quite understand where she was going with this character.
Yeah, I felt like she was overcompensating for the fact that she didn't have the mime role, so she was just trying to be extra Utica.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like that's what Utica does, though, is because when she doesn't quite know what to do, or she doesn't know where to go with something, she makes up for it by being super, like, goofy and off-kilter.
Yeah, but it wasn't, like, endearing, awkward, and goofy. It was, like, just uncomfortable and cringy.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Like, when she was, like, crawling around on the ground, for whatever reason, like, why was she on the ground? Why was any of that happening?
It's beyond me.
Yeah, and then she came out talking about Starbucks and the taller drink. It made zero sense.
Yeah. It was nice to see her with a softer beat, though.
Sure. I was just kind of surprised, once you get to the bottom two, I was a little surprised that, it made sense Utica was in the bottom. I was surprised she wasn't in the bottom two. Her runway look had to save her.
Her runway look definitely saved her, in my opinion. So we have Candy Muse and Simone as ex-best friends in our next group.
Yeah, Candy Muse, I think, was giving very, like, Paris Hilton vibes, like
Paris Hilton.
trying to do like the one night in Paris, but it was like one night in Tiffany kind of thing.
Kind of simple life tease.
Yeah. So
what did you think of Candy's performance?
It was okay. I mean, I didn't think it was like anything that I necessarily remember that well, but it didn't annoy me. So
I won't remember it in future seasons, but it wasn't a bad performance for me.
But Simone.
Yeah.
Again, like, I feel like when I was watching this, I was like, oh, it has not been since Bob the Drag Queen or Bianca Del Rio on season 6 and season 8 where, like, a queen has so naturally just, like...
destroyed every challenge.
Yes!
Yeah.
Like, front runner vibes every time. And the thing that was weird to me is, like, Simone thought it wasn't enough.
Yeah. I think Simone's very much a perfectionist.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She was nervous that they weren't going out above and beyond or over the top like the other groups. But kind of what irritates me with the improv challenges when they do this is when they do go over the top stupid.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like Utica was doing.
Yeah.
But I feel like with Rosé, like Simone and Rosé, what they both had in common is they were just both in their element and it was very natural and not forced.
Yeah.
And that's what I think you need when you do improv.
Yeah. So our final group, Tina Burner and Elliot.
Tina Burner and Elliot with 2 T's.
Thoughts?
Let's move on to our next section.
I want to talk about
it. It was just like a lot of forced physical comedy for me, like the big ass and the big boobs and making out. And I thought Tina did okay. It wasn't funny for me, but it was more on the safe side. And then Elliot, it was just kind of, this wasn't funny.
It was too like physically hokey, and Elliot was not like, she definitely is not somebody who can do improv. That's not her tea. And the making out part, like, although it was like, oh, snaps, but it wasn't.
We worked together in the same department.
Yeah, that. Very that. All right, so we're back in the workroom, and it's time to get ready for the main stage.
For the main stage, yes.
So, as we're getting ready, of course, we're talking about what happened in the improv challenge. Simone's feeling a little like she didn't do enough, so she's a little insecure.
Yeah, she was very much in her head.
Yeah, and then we see that little bit where they talk about the Maury Povich talk show and running around with Lala Ree and the boom mic and the camera.
Yeah, it was so stupid, and Lala Ree is just such a personality.
The part that really stood out to me about the workroom was the talk about Elliot being depressed.
Right, and like you said, it wasn't just glazed over. It was a very candid and serious conversation about depression, and like it hits when you don't expect it to. Yeah,
and I think that it's good that we have these kind of moments where we do take mental health very seriously. I was actually looking up facts about mental health, and like 1 in 5 people suffers with some sort of mental health issue. I think that mental health is just as important as physical health.
It is.
And it's good that we see shows like this finally really like take a deep dive into what that means.
So always check in with your friends, and it is a very real thing. And the stigma.
Yeah. Guess what time it is now?
What time is it?
It's runway time. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
We have our judges, which is Ross, because Bossy Rossi. Michelle, looking as gorgeous as ever. RuPaul in red. Sparkly. And icon T.S. Madison.
T.S. Madison.
First up to the stage, we have Denali.
Denali. I think we're both in agreement that this runway look was phenomenal.
So good. She's so sparkly. Like when she came out, I was like, oh my god, she's like something from like the Beauty and the Beast Broadway musical. Like it's all
like
sparkles in the right
vintage
places.
Chandelier.
It's beautiful. She does say though when she's talking about her look that she was always obsessed with lamps. Who?
Right. Like I get up being obsessed with like Pokemon cards or
a TV show. But, like,
a TV show.
Like when I was a little kid, I was obsessed with lamps. So when you saw a lamp as a little kid, you're like, "Oh, mom, I have to have it. I'm obsessed." Like what? I don't know. You can like lamps.
Yeah.
Either way, this look was great. Next, we have Rosé. Rosé drinking game. Hi. Okay. This little number she was wearing. Is this the smashed iron-on?
It is, yeah. Like you make in elementary school. I was confused on the material at first. I was like, are these Orbeez or
Orbeez. Yeah.
what's going on here? Yeah.
Yeah, no, the like perler beads or whatever they're called. I don't know. Like
Perler beads.
when I first saw this, I was like, oh, this is like when you make like a really cool dress out of duct tape and it looks like iconically amazing.
Yeah, it was so structured.
Mm-hmm. This was one of the best, I think, rosés looked. This is good. I loved it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Next up, we have
Miss Lalaurie.
Miss Lalaurie.
Yeah. Which, so we were both in agreement. It was on the basic side. It was very Frenchy, beaded, but she is from the South, so it was a nod to where she's from.
Yeah, but she's not from Louisiana. It was like very Mardi Gras beads.
Yeah.
Like she's from Georgia. You know?
Yeah.
And I thought that like, as far as basic goes, like if you're gonna put beads on stuff, that's fine. But like, obviously they're gonna go on a bra and a panty, right? Like you're not gonna do anything else.
Yeah, the movement was nice, but it was a typical drag costume.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next, Got Mick.
So next up we have Got Mick in this anal bead fantasy.
Anal bead fantasy. It reminded me of Latrice Royale's latex runway from All Stars.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. Her makeup looks great.
Yeah. As creative. I wasn't gagged by it by any means, but
definitely like seen it before, but it was good.
It was good. It was good. Good job, kiddo. And then we have stop it.
Okay, and now on the stage we have Olivia.
Miss Olivia Lux.
Now, I always say every episode, Olivia is the cutest person ever. And this does not change that opinion. She is definitely the cutest person ever and dresses as a little kid. She's even cuter. But we saw Olivia come out once in like the wrestling thing. And that was like just a couple episodes after Simone was a wrestler. And this time she's wearing this like beaded wig, which a couple episodes we saw Candy wearing a very similar wig. So I wonder if like, as Olivia sees other girls, she's like, ah, crap, I have that too. But at this point, you can't change it. Still gotta use it.
Right. Yeah, because she had planned it for this runway. I do wish maybe, like, she had, like, a school uniform.
Oh, yeah.
That would have been kind of cute.
And next up, we have Utica in this super beaded, like, Bloody Valentine wedding day thing.
Bloody Valentine. It was very busy. I'm confused. I don't know what to think of it, kind of. Like, I feel like the beads were an afterthought. I agree with Rosé when she said that.
I kind of love it. I'm kind of living for it. I love the blood-drenched tulle at the bottom, but it's, like, done very well. I like the red underneath with the beads. And, I don't know, I think it's really editorial, and I like it.
I like the overall, like, concept of it. But, like, if I'm looking at this look, it doesn't read beads to me.
Okay.
So.
Fair. Next up, we have Candy Muse.
Candy Muse, which arguably her best runway.
Yeah, no, I think she looks great. I love the beads from the hat. I love the fur. She looks classy and expensive. I like it.
Very expensive, very that.
Simone.
She does that every time for me.
Every time!
I don't know.
I like, don't even know what to say. Like, I'm just like, Simone.
Yeah.
Gag winner. Like,
gag winner. I want her body.
Yes. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with this. She looks beautiful. Yeah. Next up is Tina Burner.
Tina Burner. We have some opinions. What did you think?
Oh, you want me to go first?
Yeah.
I hated this. I hate her makeup. I hate her hair. Like, I hate the cone boob things, and then when she took them off, there were even worser boobs. Like, she's, like, supposed to be a Mardi Gras clown, but it's not clean. It doesn't look good. Like, I don't know. I can't hate on this enough. Lastly, we have Elliot to the stage. Yeah. And in another Mardi Gras look, our last Mardi Gras look.
Yeah.
Little flapper dress.
Little flapper dress. I always live for a flapper 20s moment, so it kind of resonated with me personally.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought she looked pretty. The only thing that I didn't like about this is just the makeup gathering me. But if you're gonna do a smoky eye with black, don't do the entire, like, it was just like 2 black circles on her eyes. Like, she might as well have painted on sunglasses. But Other
Not
than
sunglasses.
that, yeah, it was dark. It was like,
You think? Yeah.
it was too much. Like,
Okay.
smoky. I mean, like, you gotta smoke. You gotta blend that out. Like, there was
Mm-hmm.
maybe she didn't have enough time, or maybe she was just like obsessed with doing the black and couldn't stop. But it was a lot. It was a lot. But
yeah, I thought it was pretty well constructed for me.
yeah, I mean, it's still. I mean, with Elliot, all of Elliot's runway is like, it's pretty, but it's like just okay.
She's a pretty woman. Mm-hmm.
We get to our judges' critiques, and we've got some safe people, which is Rose, Tina, Denali, and Mick are all safe.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we saw in Untucked that Rose and Denali are very unhappy that they are safe.
Yeah, they want that win. They want to get feedback from the judges.
Yeah,
As they should.
I kind of thought when watching Untucked that Rose is getting a little bit of that Jan edit.
I was thinking that too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like, she's good. She just hasn't quite hit the mark yet. And I think it's getting her a little bit like...
Yeah. Do you feel like some robbery occurring for Rose?
I mean, honestly, in this episode, when it came to the tops and the bottoms, like, I agree with everything that the judges say and that the judges said. But I did kind of expect Rose to be in the top.
I did too.
The tops were...
Simone, Candy,
and Olivia. The bottoms are Utica, which makes sense. Lala Ree, which makes sense. And Elliot, which makes sense.
Yeah.
So the bottom three, I don't think I would trade out with anybody else. But the tops, I kind of thought when I saw these three in the top that, oh, Simone's got this. But they lived for Olivia.
They did. So, I probably would have traded in Rose for Candy.
Yeah, I probably would have traded Rose for Candy. And they were living so much for Olivia that she got her second win in a row.
Yeah, which, I mean, good for her.
So now we got Simone Has Two Wins.
We haven't seen that in a while, like a back-to-back win.
We really have not. So Simone has 2 wins and Olivia has 2 wins. Yeah. And Mick has a win. So the bottom two end up being Lala Ree and Elliot.
Yes.
I was shocked Utica wasn't in the bottom, but I think her runway saved her.
I do too.
Because Lala Ree and Elliot's were probably... I mean, I didn't like Tina's runway, but Lala Ree and Elliot's were probably the least, like, surprising or original creative.
Right. Which is interesting because I feel like sometimes you don't think the runway is taken into consideration, but in these instances, it really is. Like, when, like, it's so close between the girls.
Yeah. The bottom two, they lip sync against each other. What did you think about that lip sync?
It was a very tight lip sync. I do agree that Elliot was the winner.
Yeah, I thought it was one of the best lip syncs we've seen so far this season. And the reason I think Elliot was the clear winner is because, like, they're both dancers. They both can turn some dancing.
Right. But it's different types of, like, Elliot's like a trained dancer, and then Lala's more like that drag club dancing. Yeah.
Like, Lala Ree's doing her thing, and it was awesome and fun to watch. But I think with Elliot, you see more of, like, the very crisp, precise dance moves. And it just made sense. Like, I thought Elliot was definitely the winner. And I kind of thought with the edit that Elliot was getting all episode.
Yeah. It almost seemed like she was they were setting her up to go home.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, it was a gag that Lala went home.
Yeah. And honestly, too, here you go. Lala Ree's the first person from the winner's circle to leave the competition. So, you ready for this week's episode trivia question?
I'm ready. In season 10 of Bossy Rossi, who won the challenge?
Ooh, answer below. Win a prize. Chili's gift card.
$10, not $50.
Not $50. So that was it. That's our episode. Thanks for being with me, Melissa Uptown.
Thank you for having me, Glitta.
Of course.
All right.
Cheers. Happy Valentines.
All right. From your favorite twunk drag queen of Kansas City. Not that. Melissa Uptown.
Okay, everybody. I'll see you next week. Happy Valentine's weekend. Get all the love that you deserve. Peace out. Love you lots.